Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I support the amendment. I have a provision that I want to speak to in a moment, but I also just wanted to make a general comment in response to some of what we've heard. I am proud, and I think we all should be, that this bill is advancing our country's transition through at least our transportation system from dependence on fossil fuels to clean energy. I think we can debate the individual provisions. I'm always open to substantive criticism of what we're trying to do on our side, but I'm disappointed by arguments that this is somehow, a crazy Green New Deal, non-infrastructure related piece of legislation. I think those comments are completely disconnected from what's actually going on in our economy, an economy in which some of our major automobile companies are phasing out the use of gas-powered cars, in which a fossil fuel company like ExxonMobil is transforming itself into a renewable energy company, an economy in which there are 3 times as many jobs today in the clean energy industry as there are in total in the extraction and refinement of fossil fuels. This is the way in which the world is moving. And the question is the United States going to lead? Is the US government going to hold back this progress, or are we going to join with our private sector in advancing it? The question is, what kind of infrastructure are we going to build? Are we going to build charging stations? Are we going to upgrade our electrical grid? Or are we going to build 30-foot high walls around our coastal cities to keep the oceans and the storms at bay? I'd rather build the charging stations and upgrade our grid. And I'd rather invest in innovation. And so I want to thank the chairman for including an amendment that I submitted in this manager's amendment that will advance the research, development, and deployment of building materials that can sequester greenhouse gases from the atmosphere. I think we all agree on a bipartisan basis that tackling climate change is going to require more than just limiting the amount of CO2 we emit. We're going to need carbon capture. And highway construction materials like concrete actually can help. Concrete is the most widely used building material in the world. Its production generates significant CO2 emissions. Once produced, though, concrete naturally absorbs CO2 from the atmosphere. There are also very promising research and commercial efforts underway, including in New Jersey, to reuse captured carbon as an ingredient in concrete. Captured carbon can be injected into concrete mix during the production process, which happens to yield even stronger concrete with a lower emissions intensity, and it saves water. But further R&D support and policy incentives are needed for this industry to mature and expand. So that's what my amendment does. It also helps states to develop new procurement standards so that they can deploy these materials once they're ready. It's a great example of how a little bit of a jumpstart from us, from the government, working with private industry, can lead to extraordinary opportunities for private actors in our economy that are win-win, that also reduce the emission of CO2 and help us deal with climate change while creating jobs. So I'm proud to support the overall amendment. Thank you for including this particular idea, and I yield back.